ABBA, the pop superstars of the 1970s, are back with a new album after 40 years. I'm Neil, and this is News Review from BBC Learning English. Joining me today is Roy. Hello, Roy.
Hello, Neil, and hello, everybody. If you would like to test yourself on vocabulary around this story, all you need to do is head to our website, bbclearningenglish.com, for a quiz. But now let's hear more about this story from this BBC News report.
Now, they famously sang, "Thank you for the music." And now, after 40 years, there's going to be some more. ABBA, one of the most successful pop groups of all time, are to release a new album. Voyage will feature 10 songs, 2 of which have just arrived on streaming services. ABBA also announced that digital recreations of them, so-called avatars, will go on tour next year, while the real members can stay at home in Sweden.
ABBA are back. Now, every music fan on the planet dreams of their favourite band making a comeback, and for ABBA fans, that dream has become a reality. ABBA have announced that they're working on a new album and also going on a new digital tour where the artist will be replaced by avatars that some people are calling avatars.
Avatars. What a fantastic pun, Roy. Okay, you've been looking at this story around the various news websites. You've picked out some really useful vocabulary. What have you got?
We have dismal, intact, and damp squib.
Dismal, intact, and damp squib. Let's start then with your first headline, please, Roy.
Okay, our first headline comes from here in the UK, from the Herald, and it reads, ABBA's so-called return is an utterly dismal prospect.
Dismal, sad, hopeless.
Yes, so this word is an adjective and it is spelt D-I-S-M-A-L. And as you said, it means sad and hopeless. One thing to notice about this word is that pronunciation of the S. It's a Z sound. We say dismal. Dismal.
That's right. Dismal. And so you've already said it means sad, hopeless. So why do we need this other word, dismal? What's the difference between dismal and sad and hopeless?
Well, we don't use dismal to say that something is bad or a little bit bad. We use dismal to say that something is really bad. It is absolutely terrible. That's why we have dismal.
Yeah, as you say, we don't describe something which is a bit disappointing as dismal. When something is absolutely awful, we say it's dismal. So somebody doesn't like this ABBA comeback.
Yeah, it's a very, very strong negative word.
Yeah, what kind of words go with it?
Yes, quite commonly we hear it with failure, a dismal failure, or a dismal performance. And it's also quite commonly used in business English. We say something like a dismal picture, a dismal forecast, dismal news, or a dismal outlook. For example, if the company isn't doing very well.
Yeah, okay. And often with these words we look at in News Review, there's various forms. You know, there's a noun, there's a verb version. In this case, really, it's just the adjective and also an adverb. So we said, for example, my team was dismal, they lost. We could say they played dismally.
Yeah, or it was a dismal performance. And one thing I'll say as well about this word is we quite often in English, we use it to exaggerate something. So when we're saying something is bad, maybe we want to really exaggerate that to say how much it was terrible for our experience. So we say something is dismal, like the party was dismal, or the food was dismal, or the weather is dismal. And it's a way to really exaggerate. So it's quite commonly used in spoken English as well.
Yeah, or for emphasizing just how bad something is. Someone might say, oh, that party was rubbish. Rubbish, it was dismal.
Yes.
Okay, well, we hope this explanation hasn't been dismal. Let's get a summary. If you like stories about music, we have the perfect one for you about sad music and why people like it. Where can our viewers find that, Roy?
All you need to do is click the link in the description below.
Okay, let's take a look at your next headline.
Okay, so our next headline comes from the UK, from the New Statesman, and it reads, ABBA are back with the old magic intact.
Intact, complete, in the original condition.
So yes, so this word is spelled I-N-T-A-C-T, and it means that it is complete and in its original condition. This word is obviously more positive than that original headline. Now, the other day, Neil, I gave you a present. I gave you a really nice present, and I thought you'd like it. I gave you a jigsaw puzzle where you put all those pieces in, but you weren't happy, were you?
I wasn't, Roy, even though it was nice to get such a sort of old-fashioned analog type of toy, a game. I wasn't happy because there was a piece missing.
Okay, so it wasn't intact, but it was still a good puzzle. Okay, so there's that meaning there. When you said there was a piece missing, we can say that something is not intact. Or if it is intact, it is complete. Now, another way that we use this word is to say that something is undamaged. So, for example, you buy a package or a parcel and it arrives and everything is complete and it's undamaged. And you can say the package arrived intact.
Yeah, and it's what you expect, isn't it? When a package arrives, you expect it to be intact.
Yes, yeah, you do. We also use it as well for buildings. So maybe there's a really bad storm and some buildings have become damaged, but there's one building that was intact, it's undamaged.
That's right, yeah, not affected by the storm or whatever. And we also use it to talk about things that affect people.
Yes, we do. So, for example, if there's some kind of scandal or negative news report, maybe it could potentially damage a person's reputation. But if they move past that situation with their reputation still okay, we say their reputation remains intact, or it remained intact.
Yeah, and the same could be said about somebody's health. For example, you could say, despite many years of smoking, his health was intact. Means
yes,
undamaged.
Absolutely.
Okay, shall we get a summary? We've been talking about reputations, and we have an expression from William Shakespeare using the word reputation. What do our viewers need to do, Roy?
All you need to do is click the link in the description below.
Okay, let's have a look now at our next headline.
Okay, our next headline comes from the UK, from The Telegraph, and it reads, ABBA, I Still Have Faith in You review. Comeback single is a bit of a damp squib.
Damp squib, something less impressive than expected.
Yeah, so this is a very British expression, and it's two words. The first word is damp, D-A-M-P. The second word is squib, spelled S-Q-U-I-B. Very important that B there. And what it means, it describes something. It's a noun phrase, and it describes something that is, it's less than it was expected. So you had high expectations, and it didn't reach those expectations.
Yeah, now this is a bit of a strange expression because most people will understand the first part, damp, meaning slightly wet, and we can see how that can have a sort of negative meaning. But squib, what is a squib, Roy?
In the past, a squib was used to refer to a small firework. So this is going to give an idea. So you're right, that damp word, which is obviously still in use, it means wet. And the firework, if a firework is wet, it doesn't really work. Fireworks are best when they're dry. So this is what many people believe is the origin of this expression, just a wet firework that didn't go off.
Yeah, and as we know, fireworks are exciting. There's some expectation around how they're going to make you feel. You're going to be excited and full of joy. If it's damp, that excitement is gone. And that's the key to this meaning.
It is. So, and we use it quite commonly, as I say, in British English informally, to say something is a disappointment. So maybe you go to a restaurant and the food isn't very good, and you say, that restaurant was a bit of a damp squib. Or a party, a terrible, terrible party. Can you think of an example of a damp squib?
Well, Roy, I know, I don't want to upset you here because I know you organised it, but last year's Learning English Christmas party, Well, the Christmas party is usually quite good fun, but this year, well, last year, because we couldn't get together because of COVID, we had to do it virtually. And I'm afraid to say it was a damp squib, Roy.
Yeah, I agree. It was a bit of a letdown, not as good as expectations, but we made the best of a bad situation. But you can say, yeah, it was a bit of a damp squib because the year before everybody was together, and hopefully, again, I have another opportunity this year. So hopefully my reputation this time will remain intact.
Ah, nice use of the word from that previous headline. One other thing to point out about this expression damp squib, a lot of people get confused because the word squib is not used in modern English very often, and they think it's a squid. What's a squid, Roy?
Okay, so yeah, this is absolutely true. Both native speakers of English and non-native speakers regularly get this wrong. They say damp squid. A squid is an animal that lives under the water, and it's kind of like an octopus. And it makes sense because a squid would be damp, but that's not the expression. We say damp squib with a B.
Okay, let's get a summary. And time now for a recap of the vocabulary, please, Roy.
Yes, we had dismal, sad, hopeless, intact, complete in the original condition, and we had damp squib, something less impressive than expected.
If you want to test yourself on the vocabulary, go to bbclearningenglish.com. There is a quiz there. Thanks for joining us and see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.